Education is a lifelong journey, and Waldorf strives to do that. Right from kindergarten, where we engage in the will, to the primary school where we work out of imagination, to the high school where we develop the faculties of clear thinking and analysis, Waldorf education always works with the whole human being, where the child can foster their sense of imagination, a sense of social responsibility, creativity and critical thinking.
I think for young children coming into the space, it's a sense of home, it's a sense of relaxation. They just feel that the pressure has been taken off them.
We work to balance the child, to strengthen its weaknesses and to check its extremes.
Through free play, we develop the faculties in the child to be curious.
For a child to learn the world and to learn themselves in the world is so important, because that gives them the skill to have resilience, to be able to cope with what's coming towards them. The brain development that happens there is phenomenal. The amount of problem solving that they have to encounter and get on with doing. The amount of emotional regulation.
Please come when we call you. I can light a candle.
We work through imitation. We try to, for instance, we will have the children baking, sweeping, cleaning, playing with blocks. We want children to work out of their imagination and develop the future faculties to be able to code, to be able to work in the world as free human beings. The transition from kindergarten to primary school formalizes education.
The class teacher journey begins in class 1. They are received with incredible reverence and huge enthusiasm because as a class teacher, you know, this is ideally a long journey of several years where you are deeply invested in a group of children and you have an enormous impact on them.
The children now have to sit at a desk, they have to work with a rhythm. Rhythm is very important in our day at the Waldorf School.
A Waldorf teacher has a task to do. It's not a job. And our task is to help the child overcome their doubts, to stimulate them, to challenge them, so that they can grow independent and inwardly strong.
Strong and warm heart and a clear, true mind.
The first year is all about forming the group and forming the whole and developing good habits with the children and helping them make that transition from play into more formal learning, sitting behind desks, receiving content, engaging in discussion, putting their hand up, waiting their turn, all of these things. And it's really the year where you establish yourself as a class teacher as the beloved authority. So you are loving, but you are very clear and provide clear structures for the children. The alphabet is taught in a pictorial way, kind of follows the story of how the alphabet came to be in history, from the pictogram to the symbol. And so they are taught the story through rich fairy tales and rich imagery and through picture. And then they develop a relationship to each of these symbols without it just being random and abstract. And we move from writing to reading, because writing engages the whole body, the head, the upper body, the hand, the eyes, and then move into reading. Once they start reading, it's not a chore, it's just pure joy.
We work with the children so that what we do with them interests them. And because it interests them, they enjoy learning.
The main lesson content will be related to their stage of development. A wonderful example is in grade 6, where the children begin to question the world naturally, to look at what's fair. We teach Roman history. We look at the Roman kings, we look at the Roman emperor, where fairness and law is established.
It's a unique experience. You'll learn not only the basics of the subjects that you learn in school, but also the mythology of our nations in this world. You'll learn about the simple aspects of light, of diffraction, chemistry. You'll learn about ancient India, ancient Rome.
This is throughout the whole curriculum. You'll see this, the content, the story content mirrors them all the way through.
Art, academics, ethics and practical skills are all linked in the education of our child. Our education is interdisciplinary, across the curriculum teaching, part of a whole and not as an individual, isolated academic experience. We always want the child to have a real experience of the world. We will always start educating from the place that the child can recognize, from the known into the unknown, that each child can form their critical thinking and analysis skills to be able to work beyond what is known.
Yes. So yeah, have you ever, when the electrician comes to your house and he pushes open that little crack door?
Grade 3 child is crossing what we call a Rubicon, crossing an important developmental threshold where they sort of lose their powers of imitation and start to recognize themselves as quite alone in the world and separate from everybody. And so instead of a sense of separateness from the world, we try to encourage them to have a sense of responsibility for the world. And so we get them busy in being part of the world. So they are building and farming and gardening and understanding where the clothes on their backs come from or where the food on their table comes from, and they are part of that process in experiential learning, and it just helps to mirror them in finding a new relationship with the world.
We work with what interests the child, that the child can develop the skills of intuition, imagination, and be able to interact with other human beings in a meaningful way. These will be the valuable resources of the future.
A teacher in a Waldorf school learns to read something of the child's true nature by observing them. So we look at how they walk, how they speak to others, how they form their thoughts when they speak. Teachers assess children all day, starting very early in the morning when we first meet the child and greet them by shaking their hands. So that's the beginning. So on that day, at that moment already, we have assessed how is that child today. And from there, in every moment of the day, we are watching, we are with the children, and we are seeing what their triumphs are and their growth is on that given day. So when we assess all day like that, we don't need to test often. Testing it just shows us one little aspect of the child on that given day, and it's unnecessary to do it often.
The children have incredible self-motivation, and they work and they do projects and they take the work on for the love of learning rather than for the carrot sort of dangling at the end.
We celebrate personal moments of growth and personal moments of triumph. We celebrate collaboration with one another.
Give it a few seconds. You don't have to wait that long, 5 seconds.
The high school curriculum is rigorous. We work with problem solving. We work with analytical thinking. We work with the depth and rigor that any good curriculum will bring to students. It is the time to bring science. It is the time to bring humanities. It is the time to bring the arts.
And one of the tasks of the teacher is to motivate the students to aspire to things that they never knew that they could actually attain.
And seek the meaning of things so that joy.
One of the unique differentiators in the Waldorf School is the work that we do around projects. Class 11, the students choose a project which they will work on alongside the academic curriculum in their own time, and they will choose a topic, research it from a theoretical, historical and practical point of view, and that will culminate in a public speech in the auditorium.
The evolution of these two skills has changed drastically.
As new information about the environment, humanity, and international communities is discovered.
And light limbs for the bow while I work on my form and strength before increasing poundage.
Robotic evolution's pace increases tenfold during the 1900s. One of the things that's very notable about the Baroque era is how you had to have a sort of expertise for soloing.
The static camera was seen less and less by audiences.
And the negative factors that they prevent in comparison to mining diamonds.
I did entrepreneurship, started an e-commerce store selling digital measuring tools. So we had customers from Australia, Singapore, Saudi Arabia, America, France, England, Canada, South Africa, the Czech Republic, Thailand, Germany, New Zealand, the Netherlands.
Our work in the high school is done with the intention of allowing the human being to unfold. So the final qualification that we want from the children is that they have the capacity to work and to socialize.
Through the rigor that we bring to the students in our high school, we are very able easily to meet the demands of the IEB curriculum, the Independent Examination Board, of which our students have written that exam for over 30 years with a 100% pass rate. At Michael Mount, we offer a wide range of extramural activities. Of course, we have the sport, basketball, volleyball, cricket, soccer.
So we're always trying to build each other up as a team instead of individually.
What's unique about being part of a team like this is you can rely on everyone and there's a lot of trust amongst us.
We're a community. We play tournaments, we have fun, we get trophies.
And everyone has their role and plays well. We all have the same mindset. We all want victory at the end of the day.
Line up!
No matter if we're down by 20 or up by 20, our bench, our team will be screaming MMWS every single time.
Oh, you get this! What would I do?
In the Waldorf curriculum, drama is seen as one of the embodied arts. It's also considered a language. If we think about it in terms of a language, we know that language is fundamental to our brain's development. And so it is core to our being. We move, we speak, we do. All of those things come alive in the subject of drama. And the skills that you learn are skills that you need for anything.
He knows who we are, where we live.
I know it went wrong somewhere.
It's very clear that, oh my goodness, the confidence came, the speech came, the ability to think about my body in relationship to each other, to the world.
Rhythm is an art dance which enhances the children to use their gestures and their arms to move harmoniously together. They learn how to socially be active. They learn feet coordination, arm movement coordination, and to be skillful. They have to learn how to be aware of each other's spaces, which is very important.
In the modern world, where AI and ChatGPT and other such resources are forming important tools that we will use for the future, we must never lose sight of developing the ability to be critical thinkers.
Those who will be instrumental in the new world will not be those who can make a nice PowerPoint presentation. They will be those with critical thinking skills, intrinsic motivation, curiosity, insight, engagement and determination. When they go to varsities, in fact, the lecturers can pinpoint them straight away because they are the children that have got their hands up and are asking questions and are saying, but why?
At the start of my career, I'll be studying conservation ecology, sustainability, and the legislation side of that aspect.
They innovate in those spaces, and I think if we think about the fourth industrial revolution coming in, all of these questions about where do we go now in a Waldorf school, at the core of that is our capacity to innovate and to create.
Independent thinking, the constant brain power that's put into every single little thing that you do in the school.
That inner motivation that is key, the fact that it is up to them to take on the work with both hands and succeed.
They take on whatever they want to in the world and they do it well.
It is key that they are children for so long and that they are stress-free in this very stressed out world. It's just the richest experience of a whole education of head, heart and hands. Each of the 4 terms culminates in one of our unique festivals. The festivals not only bring the community together in celebration, but they also help to keep a really healthy rhythm to our year. And it gives the children an experience of preparation and anticipation and finally celebration of something important.
So having been here for 17 years now, I've watched many children start and finish school. Honestly, you have to live it to see it work. What you see emerging on the other end is just a whole human being, a fully developed, balanced, compassionate human being, and that's so...
To be in the school, it feels that I stand out, that I can express who I am as an individual, and just overall enjoy my actual school career.